Hi, my name is Deborah Mills. I'm an Associate Professor of Mathematics at Wake Tech, and I'm going to take you through my Math 171 Pre-Calculus Algebra online course. I'm going to talk about three things. First, I'm going to go through the navigation of the course site. Then I'm going to talk to you about how the course site exceeds EPIC standards. And finally, I'm going to talk about the goals that I have for desired impact on students. The navigation of the course site starts on the announcements page where I have a welcome to Math 171, and they're directed to go to the Getting Started tab. And in the Getting Started tab, I have a video that they are supposed to watch that introduces them to the course and to myself. And then they have the course entry quiz and the FERPA quiz. Then they have the syllabus. And then here they have the Getting Started page where they're, I tell them how the course is organized, how to succeed, some places they can go for help. And then the last thing is, step by step on what they're supposed to do to get started. Then if you go to lessons, so I want this to be the first thing they see. There's a folder for assignment, quiz, and test keys, and this gets added to every week. Then they have the test and final exam location, so I want those to be easy to find. And then they have weekly folders, and they open up in a timely manner. Here in week 1, I have a weekly checklist that I like for them to print out, but I've also added a screenshot here. If you go into week 1, you will see the due dates again, and then since it's week 1, some directions on where they can go to find the things that they need. They have an introduction activity in the discussion board, which I'm moving to Teams because we're on Microsoft Teams now. And then each of these are folders for lessons, and they are to click on each lesson, and then at the top they have learning objectives. I have a notes page that I want them to print out and then watch the video that I created. And so they go through this. There's another notes page and more videos. They have optional activities, lab manual, keys, and textbook reading. And this is pretty much true for every week. They go back out once they finish the first learning folder. They go to the second and then the third. And then I put the graded assignments here in week 1 so they can see it. I added these icons so they can see and the due date. Once they finish that assignment, then they have another lesson to view, a lesson folder to enter. And this is the last lesson, so then they have their quiz and the due date, and then link to access WebAssign, and then there's a weekly survey. So I tried to put all the things that are going to be graded after they enter week 1 or enter the week so that they don't have more than one click before they have to get to an assignment. Returning to the tabs, more information is here at faculty information. This is where they find my office hours, and there is a personal link to all my videos here. There is a personal statement video here. This is a link directly to our Microsoft Teams office hours. Also, if you go back to the tabs, there is a collaboration board in this setup. However, I've moved this to Microsoft Teams moving forward. And then course resources, I change the title, lab manual is in here. That's often a confusion for students. Where can they get the lab manual? First folder is places where you can get help. There's the lab manual, the semester calendar, and then I've added some how-to videos, Respondus, how to view your Blackboard quiz results, Cam Scanner, MS Teams, how to get Microsoft Office for free, and then the testing calendar. So those are in the course resources. Now I'm going to take you through how the course site exceeds EPIC standards. So in the Lessons tab, as I mentioned, I added this assignment quiz and test keys and put it right here at the top, and I added a table of contents, add to it. Added this icon so it catches their eye. In the folders, I'd moved the assignments to one click away, and I added due dates. I used to say refer to the weekly checklist for the due dates. That wasn't working, so I'm trying to be much more clear with the due dates. Also, as I mentioned before, in the course resources, I added some how-to videos or explanations. One is how to create a proper testing environment for respondents, how to view your Blackboard quiz and test results, how to use the CAM Scanner app, MS Teams student guide, Microsoft Office for free. So I added some explanations to help students navigate all the different sites and software that they have to use. Also, in the Getting Started area, I added some explanations about Desmos. It's a site that we use a lot in Math 171, explaining what it is, how to sign up for it, the different types of ways that they have to enter answers. And then I also added information on WebAssign. Sometimes they get confused because we call them quizzes and quiz practice, and so there are some things that are optional and some things that are mandatory. So I added that and explained how much they count. And then if they have WebAssign issues, there's a place that they can go to see if WebAssign is down. I wanted to show you the rubrics that I created. They're found in lessons. I created 3 rubrics. The first 2 are in week 6, and they have to do with this assignment here. They had to work as a group to complete an assignment. Each person submitted work from the lab manual, and then they were supposed to discuss it. And so the first rubric is about their participation. They were supposed to upload screenshots comparing and contrasting their work with other people's work, and I posted a screenshot of how they would be graded here. The individual upload, they uploaded that into Teams, and then they discuss it, and then they got a participation grade where they had to make 2 comments, and then one person was supposed to upload the final document, and that's the one that I graded. And so they got a percentage, their individual grade, 50% the individual upload, 20% the participation in the comparing and contrasting discussion, and 30% was the actual document. So they used the rubric for the comparing and contrast discussion, and then there's another rubric here which is very specific to this particular document. It is a way for me to grade uniformly across the different groups and also just give a lot of partial credit. So, for example, question 7 had 5 parts to it. 7A had 5 parts, 7B had 5 parts, 7C had 3 parts, 8A had 6 parts, and 8B had 3 parts. So it was a way to grade uniformly, and it gives the answer, and it kind of anticipates problems that they may have. The third rubric that I created is found in week 8, and I added a test reflection this semester, and I gave them a prompt, and they were supposed to write their test reflection right into this prompt. And the rubric I added to the second page so they could see exactly how I would go about grading it. And this rubric was added into Blackboard as well, and it's what I used to grade it. Moving on to the project, it's found in lessons in week 12, and I revised it and sort of cleaned it up so that it was an entirely online experience. And I also made it more of a scaffolded project and have been preparing students for it throughout the semester. So I added a little bit of the rationale to this project, and I reminded them that for test 1 they discussed with their group how they were going to prepare. For test 2 they were asked to write a reflection on the test, post-test reflection, And then in test 3, they were actually asked to record themselves explaining one problem from the Module 3 practice. So then this project sort of puts all of that together, and they are to work as a group to find a problem that they missed from test 1 through 3, talk about why they missed it and strategies, and then they were supposed to create a new problem and record it and discuss and go do that together. So this project becomes sort of a scaffolded project where I'm preparing for them for it throughout the semester, and I just cleaned up some of the directions since they're going to be turning this in completely in an online environment. Some final additions in the faculty information section. I created a personal statement video. It's 1 minute long, and it just talks about how I love teaching at Wake Tech, and the reason that I love it is because the students here at Wake Tech are motivated and take responsibility and encouraging, and I really want to serve them, so I added that personal statement video. I also added to test 2, moving forward, an academic honesty statement for question 1, where they have to reiterate that they are not going to use unauthorized resources or give any unauthorized resources. And then finally, I added a student survey to each of my weeks, and I have added it to my EPIC 110 course as well as my current course, and it's been great. I've gotten some really helpful responses. You can see here the 3 responses that were unclear. I was able to respond, just helping students understand my motivation with the lectures and why WebAssign maybe seems harder. Talk about the student learning objectives, how my lectures follow that. And then they didn't understand the 2 due dates, so I was able to kind of explain that and reiterate that in the instructions. And then some people just found particular topics tough, and I was able to reach out to them and say, hey, I'd be glad to go over that with you during my office hours or by appointment. So in summary, the improvements based on EPIC 110, I'm hoping that my course is more organized and detailed with keys and large icons, due dates, more detailed instructions, including instructions for how to navigate through the different software that we use. And I hope that there's more communication through the use of rubrics, my personal statement video, the test reflection, and the revised project. And finally, the student survey. And I'm hoping that students will be more confident and less stressed as they navigate the course, that they be more prepared as they navigate, that they feel more connected to both me and their peers, and that they would communicate with me more as I've given them more chances to communicate and given them more detailed feedback.